Good morning, everyone. Sacred Sounds of Coffee, first Monday of every month. Jody is packing up to move, so all of her gongs and bowls are packed up. So this will probably be a solo one. I sent her an invite in case she wants to come in to chit chat, but all her music is packed up. I'm just going to give a few minutes for the notifications to go out. I do have the videos set that only subscribers can chat in the chat area to cut down on trolls. Good morning, Stephanie. How are you? I'm a little froggy voice, still drinking my coffee. Hey, Jen. Hey, Miss Mary. Can't wait to see you soon. Just a couple of more weeks. Mary and I and Jen, can't wait to see Jen too in Sedona. I was up late laughing with Johnny and Becca in the after show after Sunday night. I got put in timeout by Johnny last night. So I wanted to talk today about embracing change, coping with change. We all go through a lot of changes in our lives, and they can be difficult. They can be uncomfortable. Oh, good morning, Adrian from Red Lentil. I find with change, you can always feel when change is coming. I call it when you feel like you're on an edge, like you're either going to lean forward or you're going to fall back. You're right on this precipice of something. You can feel it coming. And you either embrace it or if you get fearful, it's like, oh, no change, no change. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. How to get into new beginnings, how to embrace the change. If you're feeling fear, if you're feeling hesitant about something, or you just don't want to face the change that you have to do, because sometimes life forces a change on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You feel, but how we react to it is everything. So I always, I talk about naming your fears. If something is making you fearful of change, stop and pause for a minute. Think about, what is it I'm fearing? Am I fearing failure, or am I feeling like I'm not good enough? Am I fearing rejection? There's so many different ways, that fear comes up. So whatever the fear is, like, always try to go to the deepest level of it. What is the root fear of why I'm not embracing this change? I liken it to, for those of you that have watched me for a while, at 58, I started taking guitar lessons a few years ago, and I liken it to playing guitar. If I don't practice, I don't improve. So learning to recognize your fears, learning to look at them and be able to delve into them, to name it, look at that fear. Um, you have to practice at it to get good at it. If you don't, then you go to your lesson and it's like, oh, no, I suck because I didn't practice this week. um, if you can find a way to lean into the change, lean into that edge, as opposed to resisting it, it makes it go easier, I find. So finding why you're resisting. If you feel like you're resisting something, there's a fear there. Anytime you feel like there's resistance, there's a fear there. Try to figure out what that fear is, and then letting go and learning to believe in possibilities. Having hope. If you can't allow that hope to float up, can you at least find a way to fake it till you make it? Can you at least say, "Oh, everything's going to work out great. This is going to be okay." Um, I was laughing yesterday. I was making some notes. I keep looking down at my notes, so I was laughing because I was thinking about introverts versus extroverts, and it's like, oh, are introverts like more fearful, and extroverts like are willing to embrace changes more? And it's like, no, I think sometimes extroverts may be louder at projecting their fears. So to me, it doesn't matter if you're an introvert or you're an extrovert. It's all in how you face your fears, name your fears, or um, even if you start, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like complaining or whatever, that's a form of naming fears. Extroverts can be really good at that because we'll put it all out there on the table, right? Like, oh, I don't want to do this. My cat Lucy, her nickname is Grumpy Cat. If she doesn't want to do something, she's like rah, 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 rah. So it's her way of naming her fear of, I don't want to go over there. I'm happy right here where I'm at in my catnip patch. um Finding a way to get neutral with your fears helps. Once you can name that fear, if you can find a way to look at it, face it, name it, and then take that middle road, find that way to go neutral with it, it helps you to move on from that fear. Um, and trying not to self-sabotage yourself through self-blame. Um, a lot of times I think we have a tendency to sabotage ourselves, like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can't do this. Those are all coming from a fear. Name the fear at the root of that. Like, why do you have that fear of, I'm not worthy? Does that go back to your childhood or to sometime in your adulthood where you felt you weren't worthy enough? um Trying not to self-sabotage. um you know, to me, like, embracing fear, leaning into it doesn't mean you have to take a step, right away. You can pause, you can freeze for a minute, you can take that moment, without stepping back. You can take that moment to just pause where you are to get clear about how you want to proceed forward, knowing that it's okay to take that moment. If it's just a moment to breathe and get centered and get clear on the direction you want to take. It's um it's challenging to get at the roots of our fears that hold us back. I did a little angel writing this morning. I did a little automatic writing with Archangel Raphael, and I wanted to read to you guys what Raphael wrote with me this morning about embracing change and fear. And take a sip of coffee before I read this. Journeys often find new ways of manifesting fears, so we tear down what we fear, meeting our highest self to form more unity with love. So it's it's an opportunity for us in life. Whenever a fear comes up, it's an opportunity for us to connect to our higher self and to tear down that fear. We form warning fears. He called them warning fears. Like it's a warning. Oh no, danger, Will Robinson, right? We form warning fears to let us know when we are spreading our warning fears, yearning to begin welcoming love back into our soul progressions. Life is a journey, we're put here to learn and to grow. And if we fear and we stop growing, if we fear everything, we can't take those steps forward. So we create these warning fears, as Raphael is putting it, to let us know when we're not aligned with love. Far more amusing unity will walk with us to yearn for your soul, to experience joy, narrating your journey because we create joy with pausing to align ourselves with love. So taking that moment to breathe, to just align with love, to embrace the change, and to get clear about the direction you want to move forward. Just allow yourself to get. And I thought it was interesting. Raphael said amusing unity, because I think our angels find it interesting how we resist so much and have trouble embracing change and moving forward and figuring out why something keeps coming up in our lives over and over. You'll find a lot of times until you've repeated lessons a few times, the same issues will come up over and over, but they get easier and easier to release. People remember love better when they unify travels that bring unity with your weary souls, tenderly breaking free from fears. So breaking free from them, it's a gentle process. It's not an abrupt "I get it" moment. It's you may have those aha moments, like that's what it is. But it's usually much more subtle, much more gentle, pausing and just aligning yourself back in love. We find familiar patterns take hold to recognize when we free ourselves from fear. Pursuing love is almost like healing your framework from karmic inferences, facing how to face your fears, to replace that with what Raphael likes to call love favoring. So again, recognizing that when we have a fear, it's a chance for us to heal our soul framework from something karmically. If we have a fear, it's usually something that's affecting us karmically. And I love how Raphael calls this love favoring. So even if you can't get aligned, sorry, I've got a cat hair on my face. I'm like, where is this cat hair? If you can't, completely get aligned in that love, at least lean towards it a little bit. Love favoring. Hope puts that favoring into place to allow us to prefer love over needless fears. So I found that interesting too, that our angels, they think of fear as it's needless. We just have to get aligned with love again, to let go of those fears and to heal some of those karmic wounds that are there. And fears can come up from your experiences in this lifetime. They may come up from a fear in a past lifetime. Brian Weiss, in his book Many Lives, Many Masters, he did past life regressions, and he talked about a woman who had a fear of water, and when regressed back, had actually drowned in a past lifetime. So confronting those fears, oftentimes seeing where it's coming from at the root of it, helps you to release it and get neutral with it. Feel what love says to fears and let love answer your yearnings to bring back that harmony and keeping karmic tasks aligned with love. So I want to thank Archangel Raphael for writing with me this morning. I was like, what can I say to help people? Because there's a lot of times we all go through those moments where we fear change, whether it's a new job or moving or a new relationship, or um, maybe we had a loved one die, so we're suddenly having to do things on our own. Um, change comes in so many different ways. Um, but sometimes, we don't have the choice about how it comes up. You get laid off from a job, you have to get back to work. You fear being able to find a new job. If you can go neutral with that, it'll help you manifest, um, bringing in the new opportunities. If you can find a place of hope, to me, one of the saddest things in life is if I see someone who is living without hope, without one little spark of hope. And if you can't find just that one little spark, it's hard to ignite that love. If you feel hopeless in a situation, just pause for a second and feel the support from your guides and angels, from your departed loved ones. Um, Reach out to a friend, anyone that can help you find that little spark of hope. You know, if you have someone that you can call and talk to and say, I'm really struggling with this. Can we talk for a minute? And just feel the support. You don't always have to have someone telling you what to do, but sometimes you just need to kind of vent out, like, I've got this anxiety and I need to talk about it for a minute. For those of you that came in later, Jody is packed up to move. So all her gongs and bowls are packed up. So I'm doing this solo, which will probably mean this will be the shortest Sacred Sounds of Coffee. I can't talk for a whole hour by myself. Not sure that I would have a voice left by the end of an hour. So I pulled out my angel cards. I love this deck, The Influence of Angels. It's beautiful artwork in it. It's based on the Rider-Waite, but it's just beautiful, beautiful artwork. Very slick cards, though, that if you're not used to shuffling, they slip and slide very easily. They're easy to drop. But I'm just going to pull some cards with Archangel Raphael and see if he's got a special message for us about embracing change, letting go of fears. And just a reminder to anyone that's new to Sacred Sounds of Coffee, we do these the first Monday of every month. I have a playlist. If you go to my channel, there's a playlist folder, and you can find a playlist for all the previous episodes of Sacred Sounds of Coffee. We usually end each episode with a 10 or 15 minute meditation, candle lighting, and sound bath with Jody, but there'll be no sound bath today. I have a few Tibetan bowls, but not enough to get the beautiful sounds that Jody gets. I just heard Raphael say, when you have fears, sometimes to get aligned with love, try to find a memory of a time where you felt really safe and secure, to help you feel love. Remember what it was like to feel safe. That's a great way to reconnect. And if you have memories where you didn't feel safe, there's a first clue for you of looking into fears. change. Carol, I just saw your comment. Dealing with a lot of change right now. I find it goes in cycles. Like I have times where it's like everything's just steady, always kind of the same. Um, and then I go through cycles where it's like, whoa, everything, turmoil and change. And I'm just gonna pull cards here. Raphael's saying again, I almost feel like I'm channeling this whole video. Um, to feel hope, you have to embrace the idea that there are possibilities out there. Thank you, Jeffrey. You have to, um, if you're getting in that victim mentality, you have to find a way to realize that there are other possibilities out there. Um, in AA, they have the 12-step program where you align with a greater source, whatever you want to call your higher source, um, and realizing that you're not alone. Everyone goes through it. It amazes me when I do personal readings how many people feel very isolated when they're going through changes or having problems. And it's like for every issue that somebody has, I've read for 100 other people that have had the same issues. We're not alone. I talk about that I experienced child abuse. I know there are thousands, unfortunately, millions, and people who had similar, circumstances in their childhood. Knowing you're not alone, that we're a part of a whole for a reason, and if we can connect into, there are other possibilities out there. I love to tell a story. I dated an atheist at one time when I was in my 30s, early 30s, and I dated him longer than I should have because I enjoyed pushing his buttons. um, I found it interesting because, here I was, very on my spiritual journey. I'd opened up my clairaudience and my clairvoyance and everything, and was doing healing energy work. And here he is, not believing in any larger, higher source, anything. And he would always, tell me, prove to me there's a God. And I would say, prove to me there's not, and I would just laugh. It's like, I would look at him. I said, it's sad because you live without any hope or any connection to that higher self. It's like, I love that when I get what I call the angel tingles down my back, where I feel aligned, and I start getting those tinglings when I'm aligned. Mhm. Truth will set you free on the bottom, Ace of Swords. So, speaking your truth about your fears, naming it, being able, it takes the power away from it. When I was younger, and I was healing from my childhood traumas, at first I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't name it. I couldn't talk about it. I would just go into tears. And then I got to where I could talk about it. And then the more I talked about it, the less power it had over me. And I realized that was an experience. That does not define who I am. So, tears first if you have to. Um, if you don't have someone you can talk to, journaling. Journaling is a great way. I spent Beth Cat in the chat could tell you, like, I have tons of journals. I have always journaled, since I was like, I don't know, 9 years old. I've always kept diaries and journals. And I go through tons of spiral bound notebooks and have them all piled up, where I've journaled through the years. Oh, wow. What a beautiful message here. Um, a lot of times when um, we're in a place of fear, it makes us very indecisive. And I get, there when we're burdened, there's an offering. Sorry, there's a little glare on these cards. They're quite shiny, quite glossy. So sorry if you're having trouble seeing them, but this is the Knight of Cups here. When we're burdened, there's an offering to us from the Emperor, which is my God card, a higher source. Knowing that all we have to do is get still and contemplate for a minute. Four of Swords, get still and contemplate. Um, the challenge is, when we're in that pessimistic mode, we see, all the cups that are spilling over, that are falling over, and we forget that there's still cups standing behind us. That's hope. When you can find, that one or two cups that are still standing, that's finding just a spark of hope. Um, those that indecision, know that we have spirit guides and angels that partner with us to help illuminate the way that we should go, to illuminate our pathway, or to help us get clarity about a decision that we have to make, um, and breaking through, um, that feeling of indecision, like feeling stuck, um, knowing that we are secure. um, they hold us very close, our guides and our angels, and understanding, like with each ending, like we all have endings in our life. With each ending, yeah, there may be some sorrow and grief that goes with that, but we have the tools to do what we need to do in this life. We're not sent here unprepared. We are given, um, Raphael's written about this with me before, like an arsenal, that's in our Akashic records, however you want to say it. There are tools that we are given in life, no matter our circumstances, to help us, to move forward and to align back to love. It's all about love and getting aligned back to love. So whenever you feel uncomfortable, you're out of alignment. You just have to pause and get back into alignment. I love this deck because there's angels on every card, somewhere hidden on each card. We have the knowledge. She's got a book on her head. We have the knowledge. We have the wisdom. We just have to align to draw on that arsenal. So, even though we don't have our sound bath to do afterwards, I do want to do a candle lighting. Always prop my candle up so you guys can see it. If you guys want to light a candle with me, feel free to. I always use tea lights because I like to let them burn all the way down. I don't use, for manifesting or for meditation or invoking the angels. I never use jar candles or pillar candles or anything like that. I always use a tea light so I can let them burn all the way down, and I always place them somewhere where Lucy can't get on them, where my cats can't catch themselves on fire. Do it at a time of day where you're going to be home so you can allow the candle to burn completely down. So, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, we surrender to your mercy, compassion, and healing. We thank you for helping to bring us back into alignment with love. We thank you for those warning fears to let us know when we're not aligned. We thank you for helping us to recognize when we need to heal something in ourselves. We thank you for bringing us back into alignment with love, where we find the courage to take steps forward. Just feel that all the way into your heart chakra. Raphael just said, wisdom comes from knowing you are loved and you are love. So, you don't have to have the IQ of a scientist. It comes from knowing you're loved and you are love. We are all together. I hope that brings you some peace this morning. Um, oh, there's Johnny. See, Johnny, I'm out of timeout. I hope that helps you on your journeys. And next month, we'll be back on Jody Roberts' channel, I believe, in June, first Monday of June. Um, she may or may not be moved into her new place. I'm not sure. We'll have sound healing, but hopefully she'll at least be with us so we can have our bantering back and forth that we usually do. Thank you guys all for joining me this morning, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Namaste.